All right, I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into this. I filmed a video over this weekend that I was going to share with you guys, and it was a video that I decided not to share because it wasn't as important as doing this particular video that I've been able to do today. And thankfully, I'm able to do this video and share this with all of you. Now, you're probably seeing this and saying, wait a minute, this isn't After Prison Show, but it definitely has that After Prison Show podcast video type of a feel. And as you'll know, those last, or if you know from After Prison Show, those podcast type of video feel things that we've been doing as of late have been featuring Tom. And as you'll probably also know, it was just recently in video that I made a pretty big mistake. And that was allowing my emotions to get the better of me and firing Tom in video. It would be this video that I've decided not to share with all of you that would really open my eyes to the fact that this video was so much more important to do. And if you're wondering what that video was that I'm not sharing, it was basically titled, I Am Such a Bad Boss. And that has been brought to my attention by the internet. Because somebody would take the video that I filmed called, And Just Like That, You're Fired, where in that video I did film firing Tom, post that on a website that absolutely cannot stand me. And since then, that post has blown up, bringing a lot of attention and traffic to that particular video, and more importantly, just that particular part of that video. Obviously, a lot of people had a lot of things to say about me. I don't know how to run a business. My people skills suck. These are things that I'm not naive to. But between me getting posted all over the internet as a horrible boss with horrible people skills and mishandling the Tom situation, a person who was supposed to be my friend in the worst possible way, and then posting that to the internet after filming it, and also filming the video that I'm not sharing with you, and realizing in that video that I probably owe Tom a really big apology for the way that I handled that situation. And wouldn't it be great if I could do so on a video and hash it out with him as well, giving him the opportunity to share anything that he wants to say, no holds barred. Well, damn it, that's what we're doing here today. And with me, I've got Tom.
Hi, Joe. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
I want to start by saying, first of all, before I even apologize to you for that situation, I'm grateful to get this opportunity to be able to hash it out with you in this particular. I'm just grateful for you being willing to sit down and talk about this, especially on video.
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal, Joe. In the greater scheme of things, life throws a lot of obstacles at us, a lot of challenges, and I appreciate the fact that you asked me and are giving me the opportunity to use this forum to speak to you, and we can hash things out. I think it's important. That's what friends do.
Yeah, friends, Tom. Friends. I ain't a good one of those. And I don't, like, no boo-hoo from me. Oh, Joe, yes, you are. No, I'm not a good one. I haven't been a good friend to you. I'm not a good friend to anybody. I'm not a good friend to my good friend, Connor, who at one point was my best friend. He still, should be my best friend. But I apologize, I guess, let me just start with this. I apologize for the way that last Tuesday went. Last Tuesday was a shit show. Last Tuesday was not your fault. Last Tuesday was my fault. And that's the simple of it. I could sit here and cast blame and say, well, Tom, you got caught up in some crossfire, which, you kind of did. My issue wasn't with you per se, as it was with somebody else. And that just trickled downhill. But ultimately, the blame needs to be pointed at myself. I can't sit here and blame anybody else. I got to blame myself. I'm the one who's running this show. I can't be expecting anybody else to do things that they're just not able to do. And I'm not saying that about you. I'm just saying in general. And I'm sorry for the way that I handled that. I'm sorry for not being a better friend to you. I'm sorry for throwing the camera in your face and handling the situation as piss poorly as I did. And I'm sorry that we got to do this.
Yeah, me too. Actually, I am. I will say this, Joe, and I think it's important that I say it. As much as I know that you feel that you are entirely to blame for it, I want you to know that I feel some culpability to the situation because I was your employee and it was my responsibility to step up. Now, mind you, whatever the dynamics were that I wasn't aware of, I appreciate you apologizing and saying that, you know, I got caught in the middle of something or that there was another dynamic I wasn't aware of. And I appreciate that. And apologies are generally given so freely and easily. And we think that if we say we're sorry, that makes everything better. And it doesn't always work that way. What I'm going to say is this, though, Joe. If you're recognizing that there was a situation, that there was a problem, that's tantamount to making progress in your own life. I do it every day. I have learned the hard lesson that sometimes I have got to be humble, that I have to have a little humility. It's been a very, very long time for me to learn that. But that's one of the things that I have learned. I try not to raise my voice. I try not to yell, scream, come out of character anymore like I used to. And that situation, I was really put off. I will tell you that, Joe. I really was. I felt extremely uncomfortable, and I was more confused than anything else, really, because I wasn't sure where the actual crux of the situation was coming from, where it actually began. And so I felt like maybe, I thought maybe it was me all along and it was just me. And when I felt targeted, that's when I obviously packed my crap and said, I'm out of here. I'm done. I'm not going to, take this kind of behavior or this type of, verbal abuse, and I'm going to leave and removed myself from the situation, Joe. That's ultimately what I did. I just wanted to remove myself.
Yeah, so let me bring anybody up to speed who may have only seen the clip of me firing Tom. Tom was working with another guy who also would get fired that day, and really that's where my frustrations boiled from, was from another worker who had had multiple opportunities to do the right thing, and it was just multiple times where that just didn't take place. This was somebody that I put a lot of faith in to get the job done and done correctly. And, in the beginning they were able to do so, and then gradually the work began to decline in terms of how well the work was being done and if the work was even being done at all. Nonetheless, I put Tom with this person to get a 3-bedroom apartment painted. It was a color change unit. That's a tough job to do. The carpet was staying in that unit. That's also tough to do. And it's also very tough to do with just 2 people. 3 people surely can get it done in one day. 2 people, it's probably going to take the day and a half that it would end up taking by time I would see this unit first thing the next day after that initial day beginning working on this unit. When I walked into this apartment, the first thing that I noticed was just how messy it had been left from the day before initially beginning the work with that unit. Paint and overspray everywhere, which had nothing to do with Tom because Tom wasn't spraying. So when I see how dirty this unit is, I already know that we've got just that much more work to do to get this unit corrected. And it was just from there where things progressively went downhill. I'm in scramble mode. I'm panicking and not even really realizing, well, actually, I am realizing I made a big mistake leaving the 2 of y'all to get that unit done. But let me say that better. I made a big mistake leaving just 2 people to try to get all of that work done in one day and maybe an hour and a half the next day is what I was hoping it was going to amount to. It would amount to more than that. So I'm aggravated. I'm talking shit. I'm working at the same time, scrambling, cleaning this, pulling tape off of that, painting this. And I'm not happy with what I'm seeing from y'all two, just to be honest. I want y'all scrambling as much as I am, but I'm not saying that. I'm not saying, hey, pick it up. I'm just bitching. And me being in panic mode, feeling like, oh my God, here we are. I'm going to look like shit again. My business is going to look like shit again. We're not able to measure up to the task that needs to be done. Regardless of any of this, ultimately, my fault. Should have had more guys in there. Hell, I should have been in there for the first day to really help. And I wasn't. So I mishandled that unit. I've mishandled so many things in relation to the business, saying that I've counted on this one person who's progressively gotten worse with the quality of work. That's me. That's not them. That's me for allowing that. And again, I need to really emphasize the fact that nobody else is to blame in this besides me. I fucked up. I fucked up counting on anybody other than myself, because if you run a business, you got to count on yourself first and, allow people the opportunity. And when they show you that they can do it, that's a great thing. And I'm not discrediting anything, because Tom, you work hard and this other person works hard as well. Maybe I was just overworking people and expecting too much. That's probably a big part of this as well. But let me fast forward to, I throw this camera in your face. I'm talking shit. I'm pissed off. You're pissed off, upset. It's done. Well, then I decide to upload this to YouTube. And, I'm not even really thinking about how bad this actually looks, especially if all you ever see is just this one particular clip taking place between Tom and I. If you watch this entire video, I'm trying to really chronicle just this downward slope and the breaking point that I would eventually reach in that particular video that would cause me to realize that this other person had to go. At least that's the way that I'm feeling. And unfortunately, when all of this is being realized and Joe's having this massive panic attack basically and flying off the handle, there's Tom right there as well, who unfortunately, you get caught up in this crossfire, and I'm sorry for that. I don't want to discredit my reasons and rationale for getting rid of the other person, because it is absolutely 1000% justified. Some people just ain't gonna measure up. But again, Tom, you were there when that took place. And then for me to use that footage, like I told you when I talked with you this morning on the phone, the only reason I even was thinking about using that footage is because it was in that footage where I'm actually saying the words, I just fired everybody. And I needed it to be known that, especially with this one particular person, that was it. After everything else that had been showcased in that video, and then in so many videos prior, I finally reached this point. But unfortunately, I'm not flying off the handle with them. Me and you are now kind of arguing. And I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry to get you wrapped up in that.
Well, the situation as it began to build in the actual job site,
the tension,
it was palpable.
Yeah.
It was definitely palpable. And the snide comments and stuff, they were of course affecting me, because the whole time I'm there, I'm assuming these comments are being specifically directed at me.
Oh, no.
That's exactly, and that's where I was at in my head. I'm like, man, this dude has lost it, because if he thinks he's going to speak to me this way and I'm going to continue to be an employee, he's lost it. He's lost it completely. There's no way. I've walked away from much better jobs, paying much more money for less. I really have. I'm very employable. I've always had no problem getting a job. I wear a lot of hats. Obviously, you know that. I can do a lot of things. I really can. Am I a master of all of them? Absolutely fucking not. I'm not. But I always give 100% of whatever I'm doing, no matter what. And that is what rubbed me the wrong way. That's where my, I guess my incensed behavior came from, and why I felt so singled at the moment. And maybe that caustic moment at the end is what brought a lot of things out when I spoke at the end of our employee-employer relationship.
Well, regardless of all of that, I'm sorry for losing my shit with you. I'm sorry for, filming it, obviously. But that's, one thing about it. I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea here. Like I just decided to pull out a camera and throw it in Tom's face. That's what I do. I film what I do. I've got 2 fucking YouTube channels, for God's sake. So the camera is going to be going. Not everybody was really ever in video. Tom was probably the only person I had working with me that was actually being featured in video. And I think that that's another reason why I didn't just throw the camera in Bo's face like I probably should have and said, it's over for you as well. Look, it was an ugly situation, mishandled by me completely. Cannot say that enough. But let's go on to some other things that you probably have no idea about. And maybe you do. Since I uploaded that video, it would take a little bit, but eventually the right people would get a hold of it. And these are people who absolutely cannot stand me. I refer to them as trolls on the internet, but really they just are Joe haters. And I've probably given them rightful reason to not like me. Probably finding favoritism in other people that I've featured on the channel more than me, and also on After Prison Show mainly. And also the way that I probably mishandled those situations, i.e., let me footnote back to the beginning of this, I'm not a good friend. I recognize that, hence the fact that I don't really try to be a friend. I'm getting off track here. I've got a one-track mind, and my mind is work, 24/7, and family. But anyway, since that video came out, Tom, the right folks would get a hold of this. They would post me on some internet website where basically I've been made out to look like this lunatic employer who treats his employees the worst. And man, this thing brought a lot of attention to the video. Some of it, people actually took the time to watch the entire video and were like, wow, I've dealt with similar things as a company owner. And most were like, oh my God, you are a horrendous boss. And, they felt for you, Tom. They really did. So if anything good came of that ugly situation, I hate to make light of it, but, if there were people who didn't really care for you too much, seeing you on After Prison Show and seeing this little podcast type of feel that we were doing that was fucking fantastic, boy, there's some people who really are rooting for you now. And they might not fuck with me no more. But, Tom, you've made some friends on the internet. You got some people rooting for you.
Well, I got to say, Joe, and that's good. But I'm not happy that it had to happen that way. I would prefer to be completely obscure and maintain a friendship than to garner support from from and lose a friend.
Yeah, but that's not how the internet works, Tom.
It's
a dog eat dog. I got to die so that you can live.
I can live.
That's really how this whole thing goes. But whatever with that, I'm glad that we're able to lighten this up a little bit and not make this so fucking monotone and boring that I'm sure it may come across as. I hope it doesn't.
Right.
I really hope that it doesn't. Unfortunately, the internet feeds off of drama. Right?
Yes.
And this situation was seen as nothing more than that. There were people who made comments, and, I'm just going to share these comments with you, things that I read about myself. And where I really took offense was when it became obvious that these were blatant lies. People made comments. They said, this guy's just hiring people off of Craigslist and not paying them at all. Like, could you imagine if I was really doing that? I'd probably be dead by now. Okay, hey, thanks for working.
You're out of here. You're fired. Bye.
What money? What money do I owe you? I don't know who you are. I've never seen you before in my bung. There were comments that were made like that. There were also comments that were made saying, oh God, what was it? I had it right. Fuck, I can't remember right this second. It'll come back to me. But like I said, it sucks that it was such a negative, nasty situation, and I embarrassed myself as much as I did, because ultimately that's all I've done is just embarrass myself, and I'm sitting here eating crow, recognizing the error of my ways and owning my shit, okay? I'm owning this. But if any good came of this, there's people on the internet that are rooting for you, and also, hey, you found a way better job than working with me.
I just went back to what I was doing originally. And to be perfectly honest with you, I was always happy with that job. There was just some dynamics that occurred when I was employed before that caused me to leave that position and go somewhere else. Since that has happened, there's been a restructure at the company. That restructure has made that company unbelievably fantastic to work for. Really good work environment, really positive employee-employer relationship. HR is really on top of things now, and it's a really feel-good type thing, and it's something I enjoy anyway. I know that I don't come off sometimes as, and I'm going to go ahead and say this because I know that I've heard these comments before, as not being as sincere as people think. But the truth of the matter is I could give a fuck less what you think. Okay? I really do. Your fucking comments don't fucking hurt me. I don't feel it. This shit rolls off my back. What I am going to say is this. If you think I'm disingenuine, you don't fucking know me. So you don't have the ability to judge that off of a podcast. You and I, however, Joe,
let me jump in here real quick, because I don't want to take away from people probably looking at that like, holy shit, where the hell did this come from? Maybe Joe was right to fire this guy.
Maybe he is a dick.
You know, this doesn't have anything to, what Tom's sharing right there obviously is some deep-seated issues with, you know, his feelings of what people are saying about him on the internet.
Right.
From After Prison Show, the podcast type of feel that we did.
Right.
And I was telling him prior to this, I'm just going to share it because I want this to get super gully right now. I said, Tom, you know, it's great, that podcast that we did. It was funny as hell. I laughed my ass off while editing the last episode that we did. But people just don't like you. And that's why that video didn't get no view. Or they don't like, let me stop, because that's going to come across wrong. Tom, people probably just don't like me, okay? So it was the wrong place at the right time. Had you done this on somebody else who was way more popular, hey, man, you'd be on an HBO special right now doing stand-up. Right. But they probably also don't really care for you.
They probably don't fucking like me either.
Anyways, another thing that, damn it, man, why do I keep losing I just had it right there. The internet is now rooting for you because of this situation that's taking place with me. You've gone back to your old job that was much better than working with me. You're talking about this employer relationship and how kumbaya the situation is. Tom, tell them how you really feel. That's what I want you to do right now. What was it like working with me? And do not hold no cut card. I need to know these things. This is my HR building moment.
Sure, absolutely. Joe, when I first started working for you, I felt that it was a very loose flow. I did like that, and I still to this day I still liked your placement of employees. Attention to detail is not bad. It's not. Your interpersonal skills are lacking. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There are some hiccups. There are some rough patches in your ability to talk things out, hash things out. And I think it has to be done. And this is my opinion, of course. It has nothing to do with anybody else's opinion, just mine. I think that you should take a little more time to have one-on-ones with your employees, or even have employee meetings. Get your guys together. Have a meeting spot. someplace to stage from, sit down and go, hey, how's everybody doing? Everybody good? This is what I've got planned for today. This is how I'd like to see things go. And then if you do have, issues with employees, take them to the side, not in front of other employees. Pull them to the side. Say, hey, buddy, I really think that you could step the games up a little bit better. I think that you're lacking in this area or you're lacking in that area. Let's try and work a little bit more towards that. I'm going to put you with this guy because these are his strong suits, and this may help you. Maybe you can learn from this guy. These are things that I think you just haven't really seen yet, and maybe this opened your eyes to it. I hope it did. Do I think you're a bad guy? Do I think you're a bad person? No. I think that you are overworked, overstressed, place too much upon yourself, and put too much expectation on other people at times. Do I think you're a bad friend? Sometimes. Sometimes I think that you could be a little more in touch with the people that actually give a shit about you. You know what I'm saying? And there are people that do give a fuck about you. I'm one of them. I do. I care about you. I care about where you go in this world. You know what I'm saying? Because we've been through some real shit. Camp Cupcake wasn't that horrible, but still, we survived an environment that is not conducive to positive growth. And yet we came out here, and here we are. Doing good shit, having families, getting houses, cars, doing the things that we're supposed to be freaking doing when we come home from that situation. And if our camaraderie, our friendship is disingenuine, then what the fuck's the point? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree with a lot of what you say right there, and I don't disagree. I want to say, if I go with what you mentioned at the beginning, have these team meetings, pull these guys to the side. Ultimately, initially, I would try to do that. Tom, you worked with me for a short period of time, and I wish it would have been longer for you to be able to see the shit show that it truly was. But toward the end, there was no more of that. You can only pull a guy to the side so many times and say, hey, what is it? What can I do more? Because obviously it's no amount of money that I can give to you. And, with certain people, there was ungodly amounts of money that were involved, whether it was how much you were getting paid to do a unit or whether it was you borrowing money or this or that, whatever the case may be. I would always try to bend over backwards to get the most. But you're right. I would put unrealistic expectations on people. And I think a big part of that is because I've got unrealistic expectations of myself. When everything hit the fan with that video and then I get posted on this thing and they call me this, this horrible person or whatever, I make a video immediately. And my video is called I Am Such a Bad Boss. And in that video, I rebuttal these comments that I'm reading about I'm hiring people and not paying them, or, what are you even paying people an hour? Whatever they're saying that they don't really obviously know the full scope of things because they're only seeing this one clip of what's going on with you and I. But I rebuttal this with 10 things that I feel like make me a great boss. And it all revolves around money and chances and opportunities to be a manager and cars that I've given and loans and, going out there and hunting down work and trying to work right alongside these guys, working just as hard, if not harder, and expecting them to do the same thing. But as I'm filming this video, and I filmed it and I edited it twice because I kept arguing with myself and wrestling with the idea that this wasn't the right thing to do. Because in the video, I'm like, yeah, reason number 5, giving people countless chances. Well, I didn't really give Tom countless chances because ultimately I'm having to do this because I blew up on the internet for the wrong reasons and I shit-canned a person who considers me a friend over some shit that over some shit that really didn't even involve you to start. Hold on one second. I lost my whole train of thought because the damn camera died right there. But yeah, so I filmed this whole video about how good of a guy I really am. At least how I try to treat people. Okay, let me stop. I don't treat people well. I know I don't treat people well, and I don't make any illusions about that. I don't want to be boss of the year. See, like, that's not what I'm here to do. I want to run a successful business. But guess what? To do that, you got to be boss of the year. You've got to be able to have the guys. And the issue is, it's a double-edged sword. You could treat people like they walk on gold, right? Or something like that. But if they're not the right people to be treating like that, all they're going to do is take advantage of you. Right. And for too long with this particular business, that's all I've seen is the wrong people. But I know that there's been a few good people, a few good men. You ever seen that movie?
Yes.
Good movie.
You can't handle... Oh, I'm sorry.
I can't handle the truth. There's been a few good people who have gotten caught up because I'm too paranoid that everybody is against me. And nobody's going to work as hard as me. And I am this good guy. And I don't care what anybody thinks of me. Well, obviously I do if I was filming that video. And obviously I do if I'm doing this video with you and apologizing to you in front of the whole world saying I'm a piece of shit for the way that I did that. And, you know, there are things that I need to tighten up with. And I hope that I'm able to do so moving forward. I hope that this situation shows me that I need to do more. But again, it's like being in the Matrix. You got to know when to duck and weave, because if it's the wrong people, it doesn't matter what you do. But if it's the right people, you need to recognize that they're the right people. Tom, you wore the right people. And unfortunately, I squandered that opportunity with you. God, I hope that was that boss-ass 7-letter word right there. Squandered?
Squandered. That was a pretty good one.
Woo-hoo, boy. Dateline.
Way to articulate.
Dateline Joe. I squandered that opportunity with you. But not everything that's shit, you know, has to remain that way. Right. And from shit, sometimes sugar can come from that. I don't know necessarily how, but there's people who are rooting for you now. I'm hopeful that we'll be able to continue our friendship, something that I'm not very good at. Maybe I could. The After Friendship Show.
Fucking get out of here.
I'm Joe. I don't know how to be a friend, but I can be an ass.
Got that down pat. So do I, though, but it's okay.
Thanks.
It's okay. No, it's okay.
And you got your old job back making way more money than I could ever pay anybody.
Yeah, it's a good job, and a lot of responsibility. The owner of the company puts a lot of faith in me. Was extremely happy to have me back.
And I did that.
Yeah.
Because he heard me arguing with you on the phone and was like, who is that?
Yeah.
Who is that?
Yeah. He pretty much.
Who you working with?
Yeah, he definitely, that
Who you working with? Bernie Sanders? Bernie Madoff? Some bad guy.
That was definitely the catalyst is why he called me back.
Well, you're welcome, Tom.
And
I don't need the, I don't need the thank you.
You don't want to thank you?
I don't need it. No,
you sure? I tell you, one thing I do want to say, Joe, is I think that in retrospect, and God, 2020 vision really is
hindsight.
It really is. I wish that I had seen the signs that
I was struggling,
that you were struggling,
and reached out to me,
and I went ahead and came and pulled you to the side and said, "Hey, you know what, motherfucker? You need a fucking reality check. You need a swift kick in the balls.
God,
a little something.
Yeah.
How about a friend to friend talk? That would have been probably the thing to do. And I that's why I said I felt a little culpable for the situation, because maybe this situation, I'm saying between you and I, could have been avoided. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Now, the situation with the other employee, I can't help somebody else. I'm not here to save everybody. I'm here to save myself. I came home from a really long time of doing prison time, and I'm socially awkward sometimes. I know I am. I know that.
Oh, I can relate.
Yeah, and so I sometimes don't see things clearly until after they happen. And so, like I said, in retrospect, I wish I had seen how stressed you really were, or had noticed it, taken account of it, and said, "Hey, Joe, you want to go out and maybe have a talk?" And gave you the opportunity to vent. And maybe we could have hashed something out. Something could have worked out differently. I don't know. But now moving forward, now that you know these things, I don't know. Well, how do you feel about it? How do you feel about it? I mean, that's an honest, genuine question. How do you feel about where you go from this point?
Sorry, I had to restart the recorder. What did you ask me? How do I feel about?
How do you feel about
since everything?
Since that, how do you feel? What direction do you feel?
I feel lost.
You're going in.
I feel freaking lost. I feel spread in a million different directions. I feel overwhelmed and overworked, like you had mentioned. I feel like my eyes are open. There's so many things that took place from that day forward, work-wise, that were just like, holy shit, I made the right decision firing the other party. But I also feel stupid. I feel stupid. That's what I feel. I feel stupid for blasting this on the internet. That was another thing that people had made comment of, and I'm glad that I'm remembering it now. They said, I fired you on video for views. That's what they said. Can you imagine? I mean, I'm a piece of shit. Don't get me wrong. But do you think I'm honestly going to fire somebody on a video for views now? I wasn't even thinking about nothing like that. I'm in the middle of a freaking meltdown because my business is in shambles because of me and my mismanagement and poor skills there. I don't have time to think about this is going to get some views.
I'm going to get some good shit out of this.
And if I did think that this was going to get some views, well, I would have had to know that this wasn't going to get the right type of views. Right. So I need that to really resonate with the fact that I have been lost. And I hate when I get like that because I start questioning and second guessing everything that I'm doing. Right. Hence, and i.e., mentioning this other video that I filmed when, these people are making me popular because they post me saying that I'm a horrible person, a horrible boss, and I'm having a public meltdown or whatever the fuck it was. And my first reaction to that is, no, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. I'm actually a great guy. And then I filmed that and I'm looking at it and I'm like, wait a minute. Is this only going to add fuel to the fire? Because now I'm still, and I'm going to be honest with you. If we're going to be honest, this is what I said in that particular video that I'm just never going to run with. I said, yeah, I fired Tom. I said, do I regret doing that? Sort of. I said, I sort of regret doing it. I regret, putting it all the way out there on the internet, filming it, throwing the camera in his face. But in that moment, I felt like I was doing the right thing. Forget this. I just need to get rid of all these guys and just start over. And I said that I was going to, address that the same exact way in this if we got the opportunity to do this. Of course, I was going to apologize, but I was still going to key in on all those things that I said in the heat of the moment. Right. People said that I belittled you in the moment. Yeah, I did. I said that it was stupid and you were a dumbass for trading your truck for that car. That's your life. That's your business, your prerogative to do whatever the hell you want to do. It ain't got shit to do with me. I was butthurt in the fact that you ain't have a truck no more. And I was like, damn, a guy with a truck is way more valuable to me than a guy without it. But it ain't my business. If you don't want to have that truck and that truck wasn't the thing for you, ultimately a lot of what I said and probably everything that I said in that moment, I should have not done so. How do I feel since all of this? I feel a little bit of relief, and I can't even honestly say that it's much, getting this opportunity to clear the air with you. I do feel appreciative, truly appreciative, you giving me the opportunity to try to do so and at least apologize to you. Like you mentioned, apologies don't mean shit. They're just some words. Right. It's what you do, that actually showcases if it's genuine or not. Right. And the only way that I could showcase that would be to be a better friend to you, Tom. And that's something that I'm not good at. I will try. I will certainly try. All right. I will certainly try. I want to continue doing what we had done in the past, prior to you really painting with me, but doing that podcast type of feel videos and helping you with your social media. That was something else that I had mentioned that was shitty. and I'm sorry for saying that you were only hanging around for the social media thing. And that was wrong. I should have never said that. That was shitty. I'm sorry for that.
Do you know that that's the reason why I made the statement earlier. I really don't care. My social media.
I thought you were mad at them. You were mad at me.
I'm mad at you.
Yeah.
I don't really care about, honestly, this is a platform. It was great for me to be able to voice all the shit that I've been through. I'm going to be honest. It was like therapy for me. So I had my selfish reasons. Yeah, sure. It was my selfish reason to be able to get on here and speak candidly about shit that happened in my life and why it happened and own it and own it. That's the big thing. I own that I was a piece of shit. I wear that with honor. I wear it because I know that I'm not now.
Hold on, can we start a new channel called the After Piece of Shit Show?
After Piece of Shit Show.
Because if you let the internet tell it, I'm most certainly that as well. We could be that together.
Yes, we could be the Wonder Twins. No. But I mean, you understand that was never the fuel for why I...
That was some pent-up hostility that I had for everybody else who had come prior. Because you got to understand something, and not everybody, but anybody that it ended sourly with. Right. Usually it was because some form or fashion, drugs or getting in trouble again, but also the social media stressors that come from doing this and putting your whole self out there, can add to any situation where I was featuring somebody.
Sure.
And ultimately probably handling that wrong. But, when I first brought you on here, Tom, don't get me wrong, I had plenty of reservations and paranoias about doing so. And not saying that your intentions were anything disingenuous, but more importantly, like, God, this is going to end badly. Let me hurry up and just nip this in the bud and end this shit before it does end badly. And holy shit, look at this. It's ending badly.
It ended badly.
See, we knew it was going to end like Joe did exactly what you thought that I was going to do. But I'm sorry. That's all I can tell you is I'm super sorry, and I'm glad to see that we're able to talk. We're able to shake hands.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And put this under the bridge a little, if you're willing to do so.
No, absolutely.
I want to do this.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this with you, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to... And I'm not talking about a circle jerk. I'm talking about paint.
I didn't think you were, but...
I should have used a sprayer instead.
What the fuck was that?
Don't want to do that.
Okay, yeah.
So that's what I hope we're able to do. Yeah. And like I said, Tom, there's a lot of people who came to bat for you. So what I want to do is give you the opportunity to speak to them. Say, hey, thanks for coming. Whatever you want to say to anybody. Sure. I don't know if you know that. Do you know anything about this?
No.
Thank God that you don't. I just got to say that Joe's only doing this because we can't get to Tom.
I'm going straight to the internet to find out exactly what the hell you said about me. No.
It ain't what I said about you.
It's what they said about me?
No, it's what they said about me.
What they said about you.
Yeah, defending, defending you.
Oh, shit.
Like,
all right.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, Tom, they were all about you. Oh, Joe's a piece of shit. Get Tom in contact with me. I got him a $54,000 a year job right now. $54,000 a year? Bitch, that's minimum wage.
Yeah, pretty much right now.
The fuck you talking about like you doing him a favor?
So, and you know what?
There were a lot of people who went to bat for you.
And
that helped me, trust me. It helped me to see, you know what, I did fuck this up.
Well, I mean, if you see it, recognizing that you made a mistake is really important. That's what's led me to be who I am now, is that, and these people on this particular YouTube channel don't know about, or maybe
no, they
aware
all know,
of some of the things that were discussed on the After Prison show.
Maybe like 2 or 3 don't, but most of them watch both. And
right.
But anybody who came since this post was made about me may not know all those things.
Well,
they may just think that this is just some job and just some disgruntled employer firing my employee on camera for some laughs, which was not the case at all.
this is what I would have to say. For you to understand who I am, to understand exactly where this situation and how I am the person that I am right now, you should probably go to the After Prison Show and watch the 3-part series that Joe and I have already done. Then you'll understand a little bit more about why I'm so humble and why I show so much humility. I wasn't always that way. I used to be a terrible dick and narcissistic, and
I still think you're a lot of those
things.
things.
I could be a dick.
No,
but
narcissistic.
I don't think I'm narcissistic.
We all are.
Maybe,
we all are.
I love myself. Yes, absolutely. But do I love myself to the point where I discredit other people and try to make them look like shit? No, I don't. I don't do that.
Maybe not even in time. Like, maybe you don't do that. And I'm not saying like you particular. I think we all do that. We all do that. It's like a subconscious thing that I think, well, I can't say everybody, but I think a lot of people do that. I met a guy recently. I bought some prison bars from him. You've probably noticed those
prison bars right here? Yeah, I saw those.
So I bought some prison bars off of a guy. Great guy. Very smart guy. And he told me he was studying narcissism so much to the fact that he alienated himself from all of his friends because it made him realize the entire world is narcissistic. So bad. And I thought to myself, man, I just want to get these prison bars and get the fuck. No, because now you're making me think.
No, I'm really
and
thinking.
I ain't trying to go down that rabbit hole. Tom, to get back to the point real quick, and I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
You got a thought you were trying to finish?
I just wanted to say this. For those individuals who voice their opinions in a positive fashion.
That's where I was going to go.
About me. Thank you. First and foremost, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And you can contact me on my Facebook if you're offering me a job of $80,000 or more.
Or GoFundMe.
Or, hey, you know what? Hey, look, I love money. Money, I'm a huge fan. I like to spend it. I like to earn it. I earn it and spend it a lot faster than I can save it. The fact of the matter is I just came home, man. I came home in August.
Just check your messages if you haven't already.
I haven't.
Because I'm sure my good hand to God, you probably got a lot of messages from a lot of people offering you a lot of opportunity to out me. I can guarantee you that, but possibly some other opportunities as well, and maybe it is some good stuff.
If they're positive. This is the thing, Joe, and I'm going to say this right now so that everybody that's watching knows this. I will not sell out someone who I consider to be my friend.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm fucking sure.
Are you?
That's how.
Name a number, Tom. Name a number.
Name a number.
$5,000.
5,000? No, bro.
5,000.
You got to go a lot higher than that to sell out a friendship.
Okay, how about 5,000?
$5,000 to sell out a friendship.
500?
No.
500?
You got to go way higher.
300.
Way higher.
All right, good. I ain't got shit to worry about. All right, anyway. Hey, so look, that's it. That's all I wanted to do right here was kind of clear the air with my homeboy Tom. It's good to be able to do so because I'm not going to lie. Subconsciously, I was carrying quite a load of guilt and depression since this situation. And I oftentimes don't recognize nor realize just how good of friends that I have. And now it makes me really question how many real good friendships I had that I shit canned, like unbeknownst, like not really meaning to, but just moving on from people because one track mind, paranoia, got to keep it moving forward. Like can't let nothing get in the way of that. And I think that it's probably more than I would care to admit.
That's sad.
No, it is.
Do you feel bad about that? I would be.
I feel
terrible.
I feel depressed behind thinking about shit like that, which I don't try to think about it. You know, it's a bit like since I came home from prison, I became business minded, whether it was from YouTube or starting these numerous businesses. So I always had to protect the business, right? And I am the business. And just because I say that I'm trying to protect the business doesn't necessarily mean that that's what I'm doing. It could be damaging those friendships that I'm not even realizing that I am. That's really fucking damaging the business.
Yeah. Well, it damages you too.
I'm damaged, Tom.
Yeah, we all are. I mean, yeah, sure. Absolutely.
I meant that being kind of funny, but it's the truth as well.
No, there's a little humor to it, of course. And I joke about it all the time. I'm broken. There's not enough Gorilla Glue in the world to put me back together.
I don't want to make this any longer than it already is. Yes. Tom, is there anything you want to say as we get ready to wrap this up?
Yeah, bro. I love you.
I don't say that, but I do mean that as well. I feel that. Because if you didn't, you wouldn't do this. And you know what was the real eye-opener for me with this whole situation? Was the fact that even with what I did, and as shitty as that was, I messaged you this morning, and you fucking hit me right. You messaged me back. Yeah. And you allowed us to begin to talk and to try to work through this situation. And if you weren't a real person, if you weren't genuine about how you feel about the friendship with me, you wouldn't have done that.
No, I'd have just blocked.
Or you could have, I can't say that, you could have done that. You could have just been like, you know what, hey, we had a friendship and you fucked that up. So I can't say that neither. But that let me know, damn, Tom a hell of a dude. He don't owe me that. He don't owe me nothing. But thank you for allowing me the opportunity to apologize.
And I appreciate you letting me come in here and talk to you. It's important. I think it's important for people to see this dynamic. And I'm glad that you did this. This was a smart thing to do. It really was.
You ain't lying about that, boy. But it needed to be done as well. Smart is not often associated with things that I do.
Right.
But necessity usually is. Yeah. And here we are.
Yeah.
So thank you. Tom, I'm going to look forward to the next time that I get a chance to see you. Absolutely. Let's talk about your dating life. Let's talk about the new job. I'm sure I'll have some stories to share with you about how things go with me. And all I can hope for is that after the shit show of working with me, that things improve tremendously with your new opportunity work-wise, and also me trying to build my business again.
Yeah. And let's hope that we can work a little more towards our friendship.
See, there I go, being a terrible friend. Didn't even mention the friendship.
All right, man.
Keep reminding me of that, Tom, and don't let me forget about that.
I will. It's important. You need it. We all do.
I appreciate it, Tom.
Sure.
Thank you again.
You're welcome. Anytime, brother. Anytime.
Let's do this again real soon.
I'd like to.
Thanks to all of you for taking the time. I hope that this was a video you enjoyed, and I look forward to sharing more with you tomorrow. Until then, take care.